Hi, Gil. Actually, I learned how to pronounce your name correctly. Gil. Gil. Something like that. Gil. So it's hot here. It's the mid-30s. Okay, so welcome to the Sunday night talk. Gil. Yeah. And before I start, underneath the video there are some links. So there's a link to my book, and there is a link to a private sessions. If you want a private session with me, you can go there. If you want to donate towards these talks, there's a donate button, and thank you for those who have donated. It's really helpful for me here in Spain. And there's also a link to my Facebook page as well. And so far I've got no talks coming up because I'm horribly lazy. I get so distracted. I keep meaning to get it together, but I'm probably going to have a weekend in Brighton this year, and next year I've got 2 weekends probably booked in London. I'm just waiting for confirmation on those dates. Yeah. So hi Sebastian, hi Gordon. So what has been spoken of here? What's being spoken of is also trying to be understood by a seeking energy. What is being spoken of is kind of turned on its head, because it's the opposite of what the seeker imagines what they're looking for. It's the opposite. It's amazing how everything is the opposite of what the seeker thinks. The seeker thinks something's going to happen to this energy that is called me. But it's the opposite way around. Nothing happens to the energy called me. The energy called me is just no longer there. Sorry, trying to get comfortable here. It's no longer there. It's just suddenly not there. It was like, it was never anything that was, it was never really this me that this energy thought itself to be. It's just like the end of a dream, really. What was being spoken of here is, it's just sitting in a room, speaking and hearing. Hi, Sergey. Hi, Joe. Just speaking, hearing. Also in this, what is happening is looking for what is being spoken about. Thinking that there is something, there is an it that there is to get. There is an it that will be understood. Then there'll be an aha moment where it's just like, oh, I get it now. But what is appearing is so beyond getting. It's absolute freedom. It's absolutely everything appearing as this life, and everything is included in that. Every single appearance is included. And how can it not be included? How can anything not be included in the whole? The seeker looks for the whole, but it excludes this and excludes that. What that person says is wrong, and what that person says is wrong, or what that person says is right, but it's not in those things. It's in the entirety of it. Hi, Lisa. Relax. It's too hot to do anything else but relax. And get excited, because this is a great subject, even though there is no it. There is no it. What is being spoken of is what is here. That can't be pointed to, it can't be pinned down, it can't be named. It can't be turned into religion, it can, but it's not still not it, because there is no it. Nothing can get this seeker to it, this mysterious it. Nothing can get the seeker to it. No teaching. There's nothing in the words here that can get that seeker to it. But there is always that possibility that the seeker just might be suddenly seen for what it is. It's not who I am. There is no who I am. There is only life. There's only the appearance of a human, a body, sensations, water, situations, thoughts. No guru, no teacher can get that seeker to what already is, because it's already here. It's shouting all the time, this, here. It's here. This is life. This is utter aliveness appearing as everything. As sounds, light, space. It's completely alive. Every single thought that goes through your head is aliveness appearing as that thought. Every single rejection or exception or this or that is the aliveness appearing as those things. Nothing can be excluded. There is nobody who is enlightened or free. Anyone claiming to be enlightened, it's just life appearing as a body claiming to be enlightened. But the whole appearance is either all enlightened or none of it's enlightened. It doesn't actually make a difference. It's either all liberation or no liberation. There is no hierarchy. There is no somebody who has it and somebody who hasn't got it. Only the seeker can say those things. That person has it, that person doesn't have it. And it completely overlooks the wonder of the aliveness of this appearance. Completely overlooks it by looking for it in things. I thought I had a fan, but I don't think I do. And this seeker energy will struggle around and say, oh, there's nothing I can do, or there's something I can do, or whatever it comes up with, unbeknown to it, it is the aliveness appearing as that. That's the beauty of this. It's just the one life, the one energy, the one aliveness. Can't be pinned down to stillness or just the appearance, or stillness and the appearance, or nothing, or everything, or it's so impossible to describe the complete appearance as it is. It's just so beyond any description. That's why it's impossible. That's why that appearance of a seeker can't find it. The energy of I'm here and I'm separate can't find it, because it is a part of the whole. Nothing can find it. It will never be found. It's already found, but not by anybody. It's just found. It's just here. So brilliant. Beautiful. Just incredible. Nobody's doing anything. Life, this is life's life. This is aliveness's life. This is utterly, unspeakably, unboundly this. This is not a spiritual message. This is totally beyond anything spiritual. Spiritual is about experiences and beliefs and paths and getting and not getting and closer to and further away from. It's totally beyond spiritual. It's everything. Timeless, not going anywhere. And it's a mystery how all these walls and space and things and thoughts and just appear out of nothing. And yet it's everything. It is everything and nothing. I know that sentence is so annoying because I know lots of speakers say it, but it kind of just comes out like that. I think that's it actually for the introduction. Please, everyone's very welcome to just ask questions in the chat box, which I love because I love the dialogue and I love that there's just this response that just comes out of nothing. It comes out of nowhere. It's beautiful. Heal. So although me can't do it, if looking for it dies, me dies. Well, the me and the looking are the same thing. We call it dying, but actually it's just a change of appearance. When that sense of self is kind of like loosening and dying, it feels like it's dying and it holds on for grim death. Fights. Or not. It doesn't really die. It's just a change of appearance. It's like the palette just changes color. If all this is a palette, it's all made of paint. It's all the one paint, which is the mystery. It's just the palette changing color. The paint changes color or form or shape. But only the sense of separation will look for it. Only that. It can't help it. That's all it can do. It's like a kind of motor that runs on its own. The sense of self is like a motor, and it is its own engine. And it can't do anything but just be that motor, to be that function, really. So if the me, that sense of self is just collapses, so does the looking for it. It will just be simultaneous. And there will be no longer any looking, because there's nothing to look for. It's just the end of all that story, all that sense of being separate, somebody. And then life is just as it is, as it always is. Like imagine you lose something like, I don't know, I'll think of something that doesn't sound negative. For some reason I thought, oh, your hair. Yeah, your hair falls out, but it doesn't matter that your hair falls out. Say your hair falls out. Life is just still the same, but without the hair. But at the same time, there is a wonder. Yeah, they're looking for it fading more and more. Yeah, but that's because that sense of self just doesn't have a stronger hold. So when that sense of identity is somehow loosening or somehow being dismantled, the looking for it fades, for sure. Yeah, and it can happen in so many ways, apparently. There can be a slowly loosening of the sense of self, the identity, where it's like, well, this isn't quite real. It's kind of falling apart. Or it can just suddenly disappear. Or it can slip away. Oh no, I've heard this. It can slip away without it being even really noticed. Only the sense of separation looks for wholeness, unbeknown to it that it is wholeness looking for wholeness. Sebastian here. happen existential fears that appear very real and important. Yeah, that's the me. That's the me with all its stories, all its fears, and it appears the sense of self it feels really real to itself. I'm here. I'm me, and this feels real, and everything that happens to me feels really real. And then I'm going to worry about it. I'm going to fret about it. I'm going to judge myself. I'm going to do all these things. And it's a total dream that it lives in. Because it's not the same as a real response of fear. Like say there's a dog running at me, teeth out, and you can see it's got, you know, the taste of blood in its mouth. There's going to be a fight or flight. With me, if it's a dog, it would be flight. Run. There's that fear, but this existential fear that you talk about is the sense of separation that lives in a dream world of its stories. And to it is really real. And at the same time, it's kind of understood that it's not really real. That's why we come to these talks. Because there's something knows that it's not real, but this something that knows it's not real is not me. It's not the sense of separation. It's just knowing appearing. Knowing is not the thing. Knowing is not the it, as I was trying to describe. It. There is no it. Knowing is just a happening. But there is a knowing appearing that knows that this sense of self is not right. It's something not right about it. Hi, major cultural divide. It feels separate because these thoughts and feelings are limited to me. No other individual knows them as far as I know. That's right. They are totally isolated with this bubble, this dream of I feel separate, I am real, and these feelings are mine. Don't react, says Joe, relax. Well, reaction happens, doesn't it? Reaction happens. There isn't anybody who can't not react or react. It's just something that happens. But what is being pointed to is this dream of the me that feels very real is not who you are. There is no who you are. There is only everything. And the life of that particular human happening in it, as well as everything else happening in it. Yes, that's right. No other individual would know those thoughts or feelings unless they were being expressed. Sometimes when I speak to people privately, they sometimes think that I'm seeing their me. From here, that there's no seeing of a me. There is no acknowledgement of a me as a person. There's no acknowledgement here of another human who is a me. There is only life. There is only life looking at life. And that particular form of life is expressing that it feels separate. But that's not who they are. They're not anything. They're just life appearing as a human. And really beautiful. I mean, beautiful. Such beauty. Hi, Sana. In fact, I could say that there's nobody looking. There is just looking. Steve. The protagonist in a computer game is bound by the reality it inhabits, but we know it isn't real. Similarly to me, this is real. It cannot see things otherwise. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It cannot see anything other than its bound reality, which is utterly hermetically sealed. There is no me or slightly less me. There might be a loosening of that dream, of that figment, but there is no me that feels less of a me. It's just the me. We call it the me, but it relating to this body in this life, but it's not a me. It's an illusion. It's an illusory sense of there being somebody living in the body. Hi, Synchronizador. Can't find limits in the knowing that knows the experience. It seems to have no boundaries. One can say that there is multiple experiences and just one knowing that knows it all. No, they can't. No boundaries can be found, because who would find the boundaries? If there was a boundary found, it would all be just in the imagination, I think. One can say that there is multiple experiences and just one knowing that knows it all. There is just what's happening, and that might be interpreted as an experience. Here, there is no experience at all. There is no experiencing happening. As hard as that is to even vaguely imagine, there's no experience. And I understand what you're saying, but there isn't. Knowing would just be, because knowing it all would be something that's separate. Knowing it all, something that knows it all. That means there's all and there's knowing of it, which is separate. It can't be. That would just be something that's happening. This is beyond knowing. It's not, knowing is not necessary. It's utterly superfluous and really no big deal. When I first came across non-duality, it was in the whole awareness teaching, and that was all about something that knows it. Something knows it. But the thing is, you get into that. It's just like, well, who knows the knowing? And then who knows that knowing? Then who knows that knowing? And that's just a game that's played in the head. I used to call it the Hall of Mirrors. It's just an endless game, knowing who's knowing, who's knowing, who's knowing that, who's knowing that I'm knowing, who's knowing there's a knower. It's just like, it's kind of insane, really. Everything is as it is, and what that is utterly inexplicable. Hi, Ella. This is beyond knowing. It's more immediate than that. You might be meaning that, Synchronizador, but I can only respond to the words on the page, so. But I wrote an essay, this is really ages ago now, called Awareness, and calling it a spiritual carrot on a stick, and I got into so much trouble. And literally, kind of had to leave that whole group. Major, if you want me calling you Major. Is it independent of the brain? Is it independent of the brain? The sense of self, you mean? I'm assuming that's what you mean. The brain is involved. I mean, it's really hard to say what it is. It's like a... I love the way Jim Newman expresses it as a psychosomatic misunderstanding, psychosomatic misunderstanding. Because like psychosis, any kind of psychosis or neurosis or anything like that is in the brain, but it's also, it's the whole body, isn't it? It's the whole like energetic field in a way. Not the sense of self-freedom. Oh, okay. Is it independent of the brain? It's not independent of anything. There is no thing that is independent. Freedom is the brain. Freedom is the body, the wall, the sky, the car, everything. There's nothing independent of anything. The freedom is the everything, and there's nobody in that. There is nothing that is free. Hi, Tangerine Dance. Freedom isn't for anybody. The freedom is freedom from somebody. But it's not freedom from somebody for somebody. No, there's nothing here that feels free. There is just the wonder. The only thing I could say that appears here, if you could say that at all, is the astonishment of and wonder of this. There is that. And there is also, I mean, there's lots of things. It's kind of a absent-mindedness, laziness, timelessness, not knowing this. Yeah. Synchronizador. Lisa, can one say that the knowing knows itself? No. I would have to say no. Fireworks going off outside. But the knowing knows itself. I wouldn't say there is any knowing. Knows itself. I don't even know what that means. There is no self. There is no knowing and there is no self. There is only what is happening. Just what's happening. And it's so abundant in its appearance, but the looking for a knowing, or the looking for a knowing of itself, or absolutely overlooks the miracle of what is. I would say it's an unknowing. It's an ungetting. Because here there's I have to use words here, but I'm sure you can read through them. There's nothing here that knows anything about knowing. There's totally no knowing at all. Just free fall.
Good boy.
I think I have to close my window. One second. I've got windows that are gossamer thin. Okay, Steve. There was a sense earlier that this world isn't real. It's an appearance that points to a me here. But it isn't true. There isn't a watcher or a perceiver outside it either. Yeah, let's just go through that. sense earlier that this world isn't real. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah, because the sense of reality, when there is no sense of self, that sense of what was known as reality, called time and space, also is not there. So the world in that sense is no longer what we believed it to be, as separate and moving in time, because time is only created by the sense of separation that thinks it's moving towards something or from something. It's an appearance that points to a me here. It's an appearance that points to a me here. I don't understand that bit, sorry. But it isn't true. There isn't a watcher or a perceiver outside it either. No. No, I mean, it's noisy outside my house. Perceiving would still be the sense of self, believing that there is perceiving or in its dream of perceiving or watcher. So no, that's not true either, that's right. Gordon, I find self-inquiry can be helpful, but I'm frustrated, then asking who is frustrated reveals no one, but then the frustration is gone, but I realize self-inquiry is limited. Please comment. Self-inquiry, the words itself says it, self-inquiry, inquiring into who is self. But that's just an appearance. I realize self-inquiry can't get rid of itself. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Self-inquiry is utterly, utterly frustrating and utterly a waste of time when it comes to apparently getting rid of this thing called me. Because it's just what it is in reality is aliveness appearing as a separate self, inquiring into itself. It has no more use in seeing, in that self seeing that it isn't real as a mouth eating an apple. It's completely, it's just it has no more difference in that appearance to any appearance. Or drinking a glass of water, self-inquiry, drinking a glass of water, same thing. It's all the same energy appearing as different things with different meanings. Steve, a reality bubble appearing with nobody in it? Question mark. Can you qualify that question, please? Or clarify that question. I think I know what you mean, though. I mean, I was talking about a bubble, like it's a kind of a reality. It's like a reality. The self is like a bubble, hermetically sealed. No way of getting in or out of it. But it is the whole experience of being somebody. What this appears as. What this appears as. No, it's totally beyond any kind of bubble or anything. It's so impossible to describe because every description is a thought or a concept or it's just words. They're just descriptions. I mean, you know, speakers make the attempt in words to say, but really it's impossible to say. It's not a bubble. It's not. It can't. It's not. I don't. I mean, I have no idea what it is. I don't even know really if it's true that we are a planet spinning in space in a galaxy. I mean, it's completely. It's so beyond what we think the world is. Impossible to say. just appears like this. There's a sense of it. I'd say there's a sense of it, but it's the sense of me always wants to know what it is that it can experience. Ella, the word self can be misleading. In what way? Hi, Josie. Tangerine. The me doesn't wake up to the truth. The truth wakes up to the fiction of the me. In a sense, yeah, I hear what you're saying, yeah. It's just really obvious that this construct called a me is not true. And when that is obvious, it can just fall away. Or it can fall away. It can just go like anything else goes. And then there is only life. There is no life with something separate appearing in it. There is only life. It's like two apparent realities. There is only what is, which is ineffable. And then there is a sense of self, which feels very solid and very real and has a definite place in time and space. There's only those two things. There's no crossover with them. I want to know what Ella means. Word self can be misleading. Do you mean like in self-inquiry? Synchronize it all. Lisa, you said there is no experience. Can you expand on that? Yes. What is so immediate that there is nothing experiencing it. Its experience only happens to a sense of self. I could say that I would say like eat a fruit I've never eaten before, and there is an experience of that. But it's not experience in the sense of that I am experiencing it. It's just what's happening. There's a new taste happening. There's maybe a question like, oh, where's the fruit from? But there's nobody experiencing it. It's so too immediate for there to be an experience of it. It's too much. It's too much in free fall. For experience is kind of encapsulating something. Josie. Hi, Josie. Today I seem discouraged that it did not seem to fall away yet. Frustration experienced. Yeah, it's the same one, isn't it? That I am discouraged that I did not fall away. Yeah, it's frustrating, that sense of self, because it's trying to fall away, and it can't. But there's something, there is, what seems to happen is that the words are heard, and there's something true in the words, or recognized, or seen, or something. Not by a seer, let's keep that clear, because it's very hard to say what is, just seeing happens. That, because, and it's, something's heard. It's heard that there is a feeling that this sense of self is not it. There's something else. There's a freedom. There's a wholeness. There's something true. There's something right. But this sense of self isn't it. But it's not that sense of self that seems to really register that. It can register it in a way, but really there's something else that registers it. Something's registered that this sense of self is not right. But it's that sense of self will not be the thing that gets rid of it. It will just be really recognized somehow that that sense of self is just not what it thinks it is. It's just a construct. It's just it's a condition almost. Excuse me, it's so hot here. Steve, literally nothing being everything. So the one that was hitherto sensed as being a me is just nothing. It was only a distant sense of unreality that came and went, just reporting back. Yeah, it was just a distant sense of unreality that came and went. Yeah. When I think to that sense of self that seemed to be here, it just felt like it was like a dream that just believed itself to be really happening. Yeah, that, like a dream that really was really believed. Joe, Jesus said, deny thyself. I don't know anything about Jesus, I'm afraid. Ella, the self is sometimes used as the what is. Oh, I see. The unnameable one. Or it is used as the thought I, or the illusion of someone existing. Yeah, to me, I, self, me, witness, awareness, watcher, knowing, all those words is a sense of separation. All of them. I would not call this self. Self means self. Self means somebody. This is not somebody. What I'm talking about, this whole appearance, boom, right here, is not somebody. There's nothing separate. A somebody would be a separate something in it. And it's not like that at all. It's just what is. Just what is. And to the sense of self, it's just like, can't be just what is. It must be something great. Overlooking the wonder of what is truly great. Truly great. Daniel, would you say the sense of self is like an energetic contraction in the body? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and with it, it has all these me thoughts and stories around it. It uses almost like the whole body. Yeah, you know, it can be a contraction in the stomach or the throat or the wherever the contraction is. It could feel like it's centered behind the eyes somehow. It can have thoughts, brain thoughts, you know, stories. So it's like a totally energetic, psychosomatic, hermetically sealed fake reality. Yeah. Josie. Oh, thank you, Josie. Yes, can see that in a way. Relief is knowing that in some way, even if. Yeah, there can be a relief when it's pointed out, you know. There can be a relief. I mean, there can be a lot of tension letting go because somehow something's weakened. That solidness of self is somehow moved, you know, weakened. Its whole is weakened. And that was what, you know, that's what was happening here. That whole sense of self was weakening. It was almost like the hermetically sealed thing was just like a wet paper bag. It was like coming apart at the seams. Its reality was no longer true. And what's left at the end of it is not special. See, there's a sense of self always wants something special. What's left of it is not special. What's left of it was what already always is. Always is. Sebastian, what's first, the I thought story of the tension? Well, it's all just one appearance, isn't it? It's all just one appearance. There could be tension first, or there could be a story first, and then tension. Who knows? Who knows? It could be, oh, there's tension here. What's that about? Oh, here's a story. Oh, here's a story. Now I have a tension. It could be either way around, or completely simultaneously. But what it is just an appearance. What it is aliveness appearing as a contracted energy that calls itself. I am myself. I am life, and I am separate from the rest of life. But I feel there's something wrong in that feeling. There's something not right about it. So now I have to go and find my way back to what I think is right. So it searches, and in the story of time, because there is no time. Time can't be found. What a brilliant thing! Time can't be found. Steve, is the world of me without a me like an empty bag of crisps that have been eaten and binned? Is that an IT crowd quote? I don't even know the IT crowd. Moss said this, it was so funny, he says, I feel like an empty bag of crisps on the roof, Jen. Okay, sorry. It's the world of me without a me. I don't understand that bit. How can the world of me be without a me? Like an empty bag of crisps that have been eaten and binned. No idea what you're talking about. It's the world of me without a me, like an empty bag of crisps. Could you put it in another way, please? Well, the appearance without a me is just the appearance without a me. That's what that is. It's just what is without the sense of separation. The world of me, the apparent sense of a center called me, which feels separate and something wrong, is just that. Without that, there is just what is. Without that sense of separation, it's the end of that complete illusory apparent existence. Hi, Vane. The urge to know is separation because the me wants that. Unknowing is freedom for no one. Yes, unknowing is freedom for no one. All that is left is everything which is free and unbound. What is here? What is this? Even a sense of me, but the me will never see that, is freedom. appearing. Just freedom, not even appearing, can't even say appearing. It's just here, it's just this. Is it appearing? Don't know. It's such a mystery. Such a mystery. That's the best word for it. That's what Tony says, and that's right. It's a mystery. It's a wonder, a true wonder. Yeah, only the sense of separation wants to know. And that's not there. There's nothing to know. Joe, imagine a story in time. Steve, no, but me going must still have traces of meanness about it that has just become obsolete and isn't invested in anymore. Hence the empty bag of crisps with a few cheese and onion scraps. That could be experienced. I mean, all I have here are memories of what it was like here. That's so funny, Steve. Here it was actually either one or the other. There was just boom, no me, just this, and a kind of a reaction that came with it because it was brain couldn't quite fathom it, and then bang, sense of I've lost it, sense of where was it, what was I seeing, what was it, what was this thing, and then it gone again, and like oh it was nothing, it's just this, it's just what is, and then banging again. So there's not that experience. There's not that memory here, but that could be true there. I don't know. I don't think there are any rules. There are no rules. Anything could be experienced, I guess. Anything can happen. Ella, the world of me is without a me. The world of me is without a me. Yeah, because it's illusory. Yeah, it's got no me in. There is no me. There is no people. There are no selves. There is just life, appearing as humans. As there is no me, but it is supported by the no me, the free state. But it is supported by the no me, the free state. Supported by the no me. I don't even know what that means. It's funny, it's just the mind here just doesn't work like that anymore. I mean, it loves discussion, it loves, but I can't, the intellectual kind of loops just doesn't, all that's seen here is aliveness, appearing as black words on a screen, smiley faces and people's names, sounds of birds. There's nothing that's supported by it, there's nothing that's anything. It's just so free. Anything else is just a concept. World of me is without me. I understand that bit. It is just like an illusory world. The me is like an illusory world that it lives in. And it can't get out of it because it is it. Oh, I see. But it is supported by the no me free state. Well, it's just appearing. It is actually everything appearing as the world of a me. It's not even supported by it. It is it. It is it. Major. The self seems to have a relationship with itself. It is unbearable intimacy. Yes, it can only have a relationship with itself. It's totally absorbed in itself. That's all it ever can be. It's an illusory figment that can only just be that. Unless it's not, unless it's distracted by driving or working or dangerous sports or creativity or something. But when it's there, but when it's really strong in your face, especially if there's a real like hardcore seeking happening, it's really, all it can do is really it's just completely engrossed in itself. It is an unbearable intimacy. Yeah, it's a bit full on, isn't it? Especially when there's like you know, the human with the self goes through many things. You know, it goes through seeking approval at school, seeking approval with parents and friends, and then it's like that's not working. Then it seeks in this, it seeks in that, and eventually it comes to spirituality or whatever, religion. Then it comes to non-duality, and it's like then there's like whoa, then it's like seeking energy is really strong. And it can be quite unbearable sometimes. But at the same time, it is life appearing as a full-on appearance of seeking and sense of self. Josie, yes, painful, violent even. Yeah, it can be really, really full-on. Yeah. Yeah. For some more than others. Yeah. I used to be a real full-on seeker at one point. Living in monasteries and, oh my God, all sorts of stuff. Real full on. It's very. The self consciousness of it is so strong. It's very conscious of itself. And there's a struggle. There's a struggle happening, and it's kind of helpless and hopeless because it's not going to get anywhere. It's not going to get there to this fantasy place it thinks it's going to get to. What it wants to get to is already everything. Is already here as everything. Major, and only the self wants to stop being the self. Yes, only the self wants to stop being the self. It's a totally self-contained experience. It's a self experiencing its own self, usually very strongly, especially in seeking. And it's a hopeless case. But I'm not speaking to that self. I'm not talking to any me's here. All that's happening is the expression of life that's saying that there is no me, there is only what is. Ella, the witness is also an experience, isn't it? Yes. It's just another happening. I witnessing. Well, that cheered me up. It's only hopeless for the self. But that's not what you are. That's not what you are. It's not true. This human being is life, appearing in life, which is all the one thing. It's free and unbound, not constrained to being separate from everything. It's one entire cell, the cell of life, just one thing. Jerry, relax. Yeah, well, Tell the self to relax. It's only hopeless for that fake identity. It's just an identity. It's an energetic identity that I am separate. And that finding a way out of itself is utterly, completely hopeless. But the freedom, when that's deconstructed and falls apart, collapses, or whatever you want to call it, it's seen that it was just utterly irrelevant. It's utterly irrelevant. Okay, any last questions before I go? That hour went really quickly. I was just reading your sense about unbearable intimacy. Yeah, it went really quick, didn't it? It's like, gone. The intimacy, without that sense of separation, everything is unbelievably intimate. Pain, unknowingness, helplessness, hopelessness are thoughts that bring peace here. Yeah, because it's the end of it, isn't it? It's the end of it. There's nowhere to go. There's only this, only this. This is all there ever has been. It's all there ever is. This is it. It's hopeless trying to find it. It's hopeless knowing it. It's just, yeah, can bring peace. Thank you, Keel. Thank you, Tangerine. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Steve. Everybody. Hello, Josie. I will be here same time next week. Thank you all very much for joining me and all your amazing comments and questions and everything. Major. So there's a better kind of intimacy than me. Yes, there is only intimacy, but it's not for anyone. Oh, hi, Will. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys, and see you next week. And thank you. Love you too. Very much. Love you guys. It's always such a pleasure to spend time with you. Wouldn't it be great to like all sit in a room and have a good talk? It'd be brilliant. Actually, to see you would be great. Oh, thank you, Josie. Thank you, Sergey. Okay, same time next week, and lots of love. Bye. Mwah.